I'll let them in. We could. Hello, one and all, and welcome to No More Meetings That Suck. This is going to be a great topic. I love talking about this because everyone goes to meetings, so it's applicable to everyone. And if I'm willing to bet, most of you have gone to a meeting that sucked. So we're going to talk about how to get rid of this pain point here for us. And we only have a half an hour, so let's get into it. If we have not met before, my name is Nick Aiello. I'm one of the productivity ninjas. That's my actual job title. That's what it says on my business card, and it's amazing. And I work for a great company called Think Productive, global training company. All of our workshops, we have offices here in Canada, United States, UK, Australia, and all of our workshops, and including these little webinars, are derived from the best-selling book, How to Be a Productivity Ninja. And we're going to take inspiration from that book and another great book that some of our other ninjas have written, How to Fix Meetings. So there's some nuggets we're going to be peeling back from both of these books, as well as our full-length course, Fixing Meetings Ninja Style. So all of the things we're going to talk about are available in that course. So if you have bigger problems with meetings at your organization, reach out to us, and we'd love to, get in touch with you about how to fix meetings ninja style. Let's dive into it today, folks. Today on our agenda, we're going to talk about a couple of things here. Why meetings, in our opinion, are broken, how we're going to fix them, the importance of attention, especially when it comes to meetings, and we're going to give you some practical stuff. 3 tips and tools around fixing meetings here today. So as I mentioned, I'm pretty safe in guessing this. The title of the program is No More Meetings That Suck. By show of hands, let me know in the chat, virtual reactions. Has anyone been to a meeting that sucked? That was a waste of your time. That was redundant. That was not suited for you as that participant member. Yeah, a lot of us. Let's have some fun. Into the chat, if you could, please. What, in your opinion, makes a meeting suck? Or what, in your opinion, makes a meeting lousy or not worth your time? Steven, way to kick it off. No agenda. Not a good meeting. We're going to talk about that. Not staying on topic. Could have been an email. Wendy, does this need to be a meeting? No agenda, no plan, lack of leadership, no clear direction or purpose. Yeah, wow. I'm sorry. Some of you have been to some really bad meetings. It sounds like this is a common thread. No actionable items. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Allowing people to go on tangents, Aaron. Yeah, thank you for that. No purpose. A lot of common themes here, right? So, unfortunately, you've been to some bad meetings. We're going to talk about them. But why are meetings broken? A lot of you have already started to identify it. First of all, there's too many. A lot of us, probably some of us today, are coming from a meeting, and we are back to back on today's call right after a meeting. When is the work going to happen? So if I'm in all of these meetings, when do I have time to do the things that hopefully came out of having the meeting? So when is the action going to take place? Is anyone even paying attention? So sometimes we have meetings for the sake of having meetings, and then we have to have a meeting to follow up about the meeting. But is anyone even paying attention? Are we coming out of that meeting with clear, actionable items for us, for our team members? Do we know what we're supposed to do afterwards? I don't know why I'm here. Again, virtual reactions, nods, thumbs up. Has anyone been to a meeting where you weren't quite sure why you were asked to attend? I've been to those meetings, right? We all know what those look like. Cameras. Yeah, cool. So let's talk about them, because these are some of the pain points you've already addressed and some of the pain points we've seen in organizations across the world that we're going to try to tackle a little bit in our short time here today. So we're so busy attending meetings, we don't even stop to think about them. A lot of workplaces, a lot of cultures have developed where people just attend meetings because they're invited. We spoke to someone on a previous session that said, we have a stand-up meeting every Tuesday. And I say, okay, well, what's the meeting about? Like, it's just our Tuesday meeting. People default to them because they're just habitual. They're on the calendar, and that's why we attend the meetings. So this idea of we're attending meeting just because it's a placeholder, because there's a meeting scheduled, but we're not stopping to think about setting up these meetings for success and what are the actionable items coming out of it. Sometimes they're having meetings because everybody's doing it. Well, why not? We're an organization. We need to communicate. We need to have, touch base with our teams. We should have a meeting. But is the meeting necessary? Someone addressed it already. Could have this been an email? So we're going to talk about that. Does this need to be a meeting? Could this be an IM message? Could this be an email? Could I get this information in a one-pager? Do we have to be present for this meeting? And now, even more so in our virtual world, I love this quote. The advantage of virtual meetings is the ability to hold them almost anywhere. The disadvantage of virtual meetings is also the ability to hold them almost anywhere. Uh, I apologize in advance for scarring you with this image, but there's a good chance some of your team members have tuned in from a virtual meeting, maybe like this. But let's move on before we have to look at that for too long. This was really interesting. We came across this as an article. This was kind of a case study in, do we need meetings? This year, 2023, Shopify, 1st of January, essentially deleted all their meetings for the year. They said, we're going to try this out for 2 weeks, hard and fast, no meetings. Then those meetings that are essential and necessary, you can start to put back into your calendar. This was really, really fascinating. This was called the Chaos Monkey Project. And immediately, as soon as they integrated that, 12,000 events over the course of the year that would have amounted to 36 years worth of meeting times disappeared. The update we've received since about May 2023, so about 4 months of trying this one out, they have cut down on meetings by over a third. And if they continue on this track this year, they're going to cut out about 320,000 hours over the course of the year. So which is really, really fascinating. Big company, cutting out meetings all together, and then re-adding the ones that are just essential. So something to think about. Is this possible? Yeah, it's being done on a big scale. Here's one that we are very much a proponent of here at Think Productive. We are not a time management company. We are an attention management company. So the idea of meetings, sometimes meetings are necessary. Sometimes getting people together are necessary. But are we having the right amount of attention while in the meeting? Are we giving the topics and the speakers and the action items all of our attention, especially in these virtual meetings? Another great quote. We love quotes. This is the great Nancy Klein. Everything we do depends for its quality on the thinking we do first, and our thinking depends on the quality of our attention for each other. Some of you have seen this before. We love this. I Think Productive. This is our kind of 3 types of attention. There is proactive attention, active attention, and inactive attention. Proactive attention, when we are at our best, when we are alert, when we are full of energy, and usually it's when we're getting our most productive and our highest impact work done. Active attention is still pretty good. We're getting things done. We're making minor mistakes. We're allowing in some distractions. And inactive attention, sometimes we call that zombie mode. And we've all been there as well, right? When we're not getting things done, when we're getting distracted. So sometimes, again, when we have the ability to control, and this is not always the case, lining up our meetings to match some of our best attention. If I'm going to be collaborating with peers, do I want to be at my peak attention? Actually, I'll give you an insight from me. Sometimes I deliberately like having meetings during my yellow zone, during my active attention. I like using my proactive attention for head down solo work. But one thing about me, I am an extrovert. Surprise! What that means is I recharge around people. So for me, if I deliberately have a meeting or a collaboration time with other people, I'm going to get a boost of energy and attention. So it's actually productive for me to have a meeting or have collaboration when I'm slipping a little bit because I get an extended boost of attention. So that is the idea of attention. Are we really paying attention to the things going on in the meeting, the speakers, the actionable items? So let's get into solutioning a little bit. 3 tips and tools around fixing some of our meeting problems. And the first one is our ruthlessness character. We have a few characters here, I think, productive. This is one of our favorites. And this one, even though it looks a little scary, is our protector and helps us to sometimes say no to things. Sometimes saying no to ourselves, sometimes saying no to people's requests of our time or taking on too much work. We all sometimes struggle saying no. That's why I just stopped doing it. I have my no button. You know, there you go. Everyone needs a no button. We'll send you one in the mail. But sometimes we need to channel this ruthlessness character, especially around meetings. It was one of the #1 pain points you put in the chat today. There's no agenda. Why are we having the meeting? So this is kind of next level. And for those of you who have the ability to say whether you're attending or not, some of them are mandatory. We know that. But the ninja level of thinking is if there's no agenda for the meeting, I'm not attending it. There's no attendance. My attendance is conditional upon me knowing in advance what we're going to be talking about. The next level of this, the hardcore ninja level, no purpose statement, no attendance. So not only what we're going to be talking about, who's allotted what time to speak, but why are we having the meeting? A meeting with a purpose statement is really, really important. And a purpose statement is usually something like, by the end of this meeting, we will have, insert verb here, achieved, decided, and then whatever that outcome is. So we need to have that actionable purpose statement. So no agenda, no attendance is one of our internal rules. We know what we're going to be talking about. And the next level, no purpose statement, no attendance. Some questions you could be asking before you click that accept button. Am I important to the meeting? Could this meeting happen without me? In many cases, not to be, belittling of your capabilities, but sometimes these meetings would go on without you. And it's okay to ask that question. Am I essential to this meeting? If this is a decision-making meeting and you don't have decision-making capability, why are you needed to attend? If this is informational in nature and you're involved in your most impactful work, could you just get the notes from someone? Could you get the meeting minutes? Is there going to be recorded? So I love asking this question. Am I essential to the meeting? Also, what is your expected contribution? If it's just going to be information download, could you, again, just get the meetings? But if you're expected to present, if you're expected to be on camera engaged, that's also going to impact maybe where you need to be if you're going to accept the meeting. Can I delegate? Can I send someone in my place? I'm involved in my most proactive attention, my most meaningful work. Can I send someone else to get this information? My background is in theater, so I love the meeting cameo. Can I just attend part of the meeting? Yeah, I'm expected to give some of my numbers. Can I show up and give those numbers and then get out of there? Because am I essential for the rest of the meeting? So these are important questions. And sometimes we feel cautious about asking them. It's okay to ask these questions. To the meeting organizer, am I essential to this meeting? It's going to force them to think about it. You might be, but it's going to force them to think about it. And sometimes you're going to surprise yourself with the answer. Deleting isn't cheating. We love this. We love, as a form of delegating, restructuring your time commitments. Sometimes, the best use of your time is what you're working on. And then the old famous something urgent has come up. That's as much explanation as sometimes you need to give. This is fun. Stealth and camouflage. Can you, as we mentioned, dial in for just your part of the meeting? Our founder, Graham, was working on in our shared calendar, because we can see what everyone's working on, is working on Project Magenta for months. Tuesdays from 9:30 to 11, Project Magenta. Finally, we said, Graham, none of us know anything about Project Magenta. Can we help? What do you need from us? He's like, mate, that's my critical thinking time. So he had booked out stealthily in our shared calendar time just for his own thinking. So if you have this idea of shared calendars in your organization, can you book that meeting for one, especially when it's your peak proactive attention to get your most important work done? The other idea we really, really love of, if you have to put a meeting in your diary, in your agenda, we love booking a little bit of extra time, buffer time on each end. Top and tail your meeting. If you know you're going to have a half-hour meeting, book it for 45 minutes in your agenda. That way, at the least, you can digest the meeting. You can make a couple notes about what that meeting was. You could get a snack. You could go to the washroom before you're expected to go to that next meeting. So creating a little bit of buffer time intentionally around your meetings, yeah, for virtual meetings. Maybe you need to log in. This one's on Zoom and the next one's on Teams. We need that time. We need some buffer time to digest it, to make note of your actionable items, and to move on to that next meeting. So we love that idea of building in some buffer time. Again, let's try it. Let's take 90 seconds. Look at your day planners. Could you delete a meeting for real? Could you say this is not necessary or I'm not critical to this meeting? If you're organizing the meeting, could you uninvite one person to give a collective hours back in the organization? We love playing with time constraints. Hey, this was scheduled for an hour. We're going to make it 45 minutes. You will be met by a chorus of woohoos across your organization if you do that. No one will say, I was really hoping we could have the hour. Sometimes in advance, this is a great thing to do in the day. Hey team, we're scheduled for an hour. Let's get this done in 45 minutes. And your team's going to go, yes, let's go for it. You're going to see a momentum shift right in that moment, and people are going to start to be focused. That kind of that time of, okay, let's get this done, sense of urgency. So we'll come back to you at the end. I'd love to see if anyone took me up on the challenge and either shortened, deleted, declined, uninvited someone for real, because that's a real thing we could try to do. Our second tip around this character is preparedness. And this is all about, if we are going to go to the meeting, which decided is worthy of our time, making sure that us and the meeting organizers are ready for it. And this comes down to our 4P design: purpose, plan, protocol, and people. We go into this extensively in our Fixing Meetings course, but the purpose of the meeting, again, why the meeting exists. By the end of this meeting, we will have, insert verb here, decided, achieved, and then what that outcome is going to be. Knowing that in advance is really, really important. The plan for the meeting, that's usually going to be the agenda. Who's speaking? On what topic? For how long? Is it going to be recorded? Is it available afterwards? What is the actual plan for the meeting? The protocols for the meeting. Is this going to be a virtual meeting? Does everyone have login addresses? Is there going to be handouts sent out in advance? We know that somebody on our team has an illness. They are accepted from the attendance. Do we know what the protocols are in place? And having the right people in the room. We talked about this in our little chat message. Some of us have said, I don't know why I had to attend that meeting, right? There's sometimes going to be a meeting VIP. If we need the president of the company to attend this meeting and he hasn't confirmed attendance yet, we don't need that meeting, right? Sometimes the meeting is conditional on someone attending. Do we have the right people in the room? If this is a brainstorming meeting, then maybe get a mix of different thinkers, right? Outside the box thinkers, convergent, divergent. Do we have the right people in the room? This is one that is critically important to us. And again, we go into it in depth on our Fixing Meetings course, the 40-20-40 model. This is the idea of 40% of the attention of the meeting should be spent in advance on setting up the meeting, making sure we have the right people in the room, making sure there's an agenda, the purpose statement. 20% of the attention of the meeting should be spent focused in the meeting. Now, I'm not saying you should only pay 20% attention during the meeting. Pay 100% attention when you're in the meeting, but of our energy that we're devoting to the meeting, 20% should be of the meeting itself. Is there snacks? Is there a washroom break? Do people have agendas? And then 40% should actually be on the follow through. What are we doing as a result of having this meeting? Because we have this meeting, we have these actionable items. We have these timelines, and people know individually and collectively what the actionable items are. So the 40-20-40 model. Yeah, we have a couple minutes. Let's try this out. In the chat, give your best estimate, your best guess in terms of a 3-number ratio on where you think your current attentions are going into meetings. So we're saying the ideal is 40 before, 20 during, 40 after. Give us a quick 3-figure ratio on when you think you're currently spending your time and attention. Is it 5% up front, 80 in the meeting, 10, 15 afterwards? What is your best estimate on where you're currently spending those attentions? Are you prioritizing the upfront? 20, 75, 5. Yeah, Stephen, we've seen numbers similar to that. 30, 40, 30. Okay, yeah, whether you're running the meeting or not, 60% during the meeting. Interesting, right? We've put a lot of focus on the actual meeting itself and sometimes less on setting it up for success and seeing what those follow-throughs are going to be. Cool. One more character we're going to introduce you to. This is one of my favorites. This is our unorthodoxy character, and this character likes to stir things up. This character likes to ask why not, and why not now? This character is going to challenge our conventional thinking about meetings. Some of our meetings have just gone stale. And instead of replacing them with a new meeting, sometimes we could just cut them out until there's a hunger for that meeting again. If we're just having a Tuesday meeting because it's Tuesday, that might have gotten stale. Do we need to switch things up? Can we try a different format? We love this idea of unorthodoxy of, can we make meetings fun? Not all meetings have to be 60 minutes in a boardroom, sitting down. Have we had a standing meeting? Could we have a 10-minute huddle? Some of our favorite tips and tricks around having some fun around meetings. Try a new location. Use icebreakers. Playing with timers or timings. The 2-pizza rule. It's one of my favorites. The 2-pizza rule states that you're only going to invite enough people that could comfortably share 2 pizzas. And I'm going to eat 4 slices myself. So be aware of how many people you're inviting to the meeting and make sure they're the right people. Again, can we change it up? Sometimes location. We can freshen up a stale meeting just by changing where we're holding it. We're going to get different energy into it. So again, it sounds like we're pretty anti-meeting. We're not. We're pro-meeting when meetings are working. There's Graham, our founder of the Handsome Devil. Great meetings are the ones that find the collaborative flow, the state where 5 brains are truly greater than 1. So that's what we're talking about. We're not anti-meeting. We're in favor of meetings when they serve a purpose, when there's actionable items that come out of it, and when we can have that true sense of collaboration, that idea that 5 brains are truly greater than 1. So this is what we talked about today. Why meetings are broken, the importance of having attention around meetings. And again, we talked about the idea of our 40-20-40 in terms of attention around organizing a meeting. And we gave you those kind of 3 tips and tools around fixing meetings a little bit. So the burning question, what will you do now? I'm going to give everyone just a quick minute. Make some notes. Based on what we heard today, what will you do differently? And do is a verb word. What are you going to be actioning in a different way? What is coming out of this meeting differently. Love it. Some of us are putting them in the chat. Thank you. Always create a purpose statement. Why are we having the meeting? Better agendas. Love it. Aaron, thank you. Very cool. We are coming against the time clock here, folks. Questions? Anything on your mind? We'd love to hear from you. You can put it in the chat. You can come off mute.
So interesting, Nick. Thank you so much for your time. It was really, really interesting. And I love this short, like half an hour session, because you are being coherent to what we are speaking here. Thank you so much.
Well, brilliant. Thank you
you,
for
Barbara.
That was very kind. If you have a craving for more, folks, more is coming. We're offering our new and improved. This is the best one we've ever done. Our 6 Weeks to Ninja program coming this October. We've tinkered with it. We've made it so much better, in my opinion. I'm so excited about this. If you're into this, this is going to be a great opportunity to take your skills to the next level, to the ninja level. And our next free ninja skills booster, November 8th, 12:30 to 2, November 8th? No, it's not, is it?
Well, this is actually a public workshop, because we did the delegate as a NSB, and so people asked for this 2-hour course, and it's at a great price point. I know it's definitely under $200 Canadian, including tax. So check it out.
That's a steal. And we love giveaways. So thank you for being here. Somebody today is going to get a copy of How to Fix Meetings. Again, we're going to select one person randomly from our evaluations is going to win a copy of the book. And here is the evaluation. We're going to put it into chat as well. There's a QR code to let us know how we did today. Again, I don't know if you can tell, but I love what I do. So let us know. How was this? Was this important? Was this valuable for you? The survey is not long, truthfully, 3 minutes, and then you get entered into the draw for the book. We have 1 minute. In that minute, in the chat, we're going to do a chat flood. So don't press send. But what one thing that we talked about today was the most useful for you today? Don't press send. We're going to press send all together and flood the chat. What one tidbit, what one thought, what one thing was the most useful for you today? Give you some time to type. And then when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, flood. 40-20-40. Purpose statement of meeting. Yeah. Purpose statement 40-20-40. Top and tail. Nice. Love it. I'm so glad you folks.
Go back and show the link, because I don't think it went in properly.
The link to the
evaluation, because I want people to be able to do it.
Yeah, it should be on the screen now.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've put it into the chat?
I don't think that you know. I checked it.
Okay.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Not the right one. I'll do a little copy and paste. Cool. And yeah, thank you for attending, folks. I know some of you need to hop. Keep in touch. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on all the socials here. We'll put our chat back in the link for us. Thank you so much for attending. It is great to see you all. If you have to run, great to see you. Have a productive day. Until next time, be safe and be well. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Valeria. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the
You
sunshine.
too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.